Hello and welcome back to
Like,
Anti-Depressing.
who is going to be the one that says the greeting first? I feel like it's always
Well,
you.
then some notification came across the top that was like, do you want to live stream? And I was like, did I hit the wrong button?
Are we on live?
Welcome back to Anti-Depressing. This is the show where we talk about everything from liturgy
To
to...
Lexapro.
Ooh, and this is officially a morning show for all those listening, wondering, if you've noticed the vibes are different the last 3, 4, I don't even know, episodes. We do record at 6 a.m. Central, 7 Eastern, whatever you would say that.
Yeah, 7 Eastern. That's how they used to say it on Disney Channel.
Yeah, what did they used to say? Oh, no, wait. Did they say 7, 6 Central? What did they say?
No, yeah, I think they would be like 6, 7. Oh, no, 7, 6 Central.
7, 6 Central.
Yeah.
So we record at 7, 6 Central.
Yeah.
The classic decom slot.
The classic decom slot. And so
8, 7 Central?
Yeah.
Did they work? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They used to be like 8, 7 Central. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's an interesting way to speak.
Yeah.
But they really paved the way for us. So we record at 7, 6 Central in the morning. And it's honestly been good for all of us, I think.
Because we just wake up and then I'm like, first thing in the morning, I'm talking to Jasmine before I go to work. Which, honest to gosh, is the better way to start my day.
It is the way.
So you guys, this is the Anti-Depressing Morning Show. Unofficially not trademarked, but trademarked in our hearts.
Yeah, not changing our name.
So not changing our name, but it's trademarked in our hearts. So here we are. We're so excited to be with you all again, as we always are. Jasmine, how are you?
How are you?
Whoa, dang. Okay, how am I? I am a wee bit tired. Being a grown-up is so crazy because you just like wake up, you go to work, and then you find a gray hair, and then you go to bed, and then you just like find another gray hair, and you try to take vitamins.
And that's life.
And then you forget to eat breakfast one day and you wonder why you're in such a bad mood. And it's because you didn't eat breakfast. Yeah, everything affects you like so intensely. So I'm just feeling a wee bit sleepy, but that's okay because Monday is Memorial Day, which rest in peace to those who passed away in the service. And thank you for that day off, you guys, because I'm going to sleep all day. So I can't wait. So solution. And other than that, I'm just literally kind of vibing. I've been, oh my gosh, I watched the Thunderbolts the other day.
Did you like it? It's supposed to be good.
It was really good. It was really
because you've had a mixed relationship recently with superhero movies in general. So
I know. I do think that Marvel is back on their Zoom. I think that Marvel they're coming back because it was really good. And for those that are preparing to watch it, it was giving more emotional. Marvel's really honing in to the, essentially, long story short, with no spoilies, the premise is like the young or a dude in the movie has like, what's the word where you have like dissociative identities? Like you have different identities. Is that what it's called? Like
multiple personalities?
Multiple personalities, yes. So he has kind of like multiple personalities and he also is severely depressed. So that's literally the whole storyline. He's severely depressed and they move through his depression like for real. And and he'll kind of talk and he's like, hey, I didn't think it was good for me to even exist. And they're like, okay, well, no, it is good that you exist because you're important. And then they do flashbacks of his childhood and he's like in his home and his parents are fighting and he's like,
classic.
And that's when he starts forming like another identity because he's like, or personality because he's like needs to disassociate. And and at the end, and then he like makes friends for the first time that are like, you're important, like we love you. And it's the whole movie is actually just him battling his depression, which is crazy. And they're not even like, this is like a god from the planet Diefeldorf, and they're like, no, this is the darkness is when he feels sad.
That is so sad.
So it's kind of crazy. So if you're like, if you're kind of more into like Avengers fantasy, kind of like different planets and blah, 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 it has a sprinkle of that, but it's heavy on the mental and emotional like sadness.
Yeah. Which is really, to what you were saying, Ben Marvel's vibe. Like even with oh gosh, what was it? Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever the most recent one. Like heavy on the childhood trauma, past stuff resurfacing and affecting your current and how you act in relationships. Like I feel like that has been the name of the game with them, which very appropriate, something to sit with. Wow.
So anyway, I would recommend that everybody watches it because it's very good. It's just a really good movie. And Lewis Pullman, who is the new character whose name now, Sentry. He is certifiable. He's a member of Hot Boy Summer. He is he is so cute.
Isn't what's his face in that people love too? Is Sebastian Stan in that?
Sebastian Stan, Bucky Barnes. For that reason as well, watch it.
So it was giving aesthetic.
It was giving aesthetic. When they introduced Bucky, they introduced him riding on a motorcycle.
Of course they did. Yeah.
Riding on a motorcycle by himself. And then he took his robot arm and just like gripped the ground. And everybody in the theater was like, like a collective gasp. So
Marvel said, TBH, we know what the girlies want.
So if you get it, you get it. If you get it, you get it. And for that reason, you should go see it. So I'm tired, but in a way, I'm also not after I saw Thunderbolts.
I'm tired, but she's also never been more alive.
I've actually never been more alive. But how the heck are you, dude?
I am doing really well, thank you. Also excited for Memorial Day. One of my best friends is pregnant, very pregnant, due to have a baby any day now. So say some prayers that the baby comes quickly and smoothly and healthy and all the good things. And for mama. So that is on my mind in my realm over here today. The most recent thing that happened to me, and I, as promised through my text messages to you, said I would tell the story on the pod.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel I have to share what it is like to be a work from home mom.
Yeah.
And yesterday was just one of those moments, and I'm really excited to tell you the story. So I had a Zoom meeting for work yesterday, and if you know me, you know my work is very casual insofar as like it's me texting my boss. I'm sometimes on the phone with my boss, but he's very chill. He's known me and Chanel since we were 15, 17, like kids. And so it's a very low key job in that way. Yesterday was a little different because we were on a Zoom meeting with another Catholic organization trying to plan for this event. And so we're on this Zoom meeting and I am holding my baby as one is on a Catholic mom Zoom meeting, and I'm holding my baby, all is well, and all of a sudden he starts puking.
Wow.
And I mean all over me.
No.
And it wasn't like a cute like baby spit up because he's eating now, like real food. And what he had for breakfast, and I'm not gonna try to get too graphic here, but what he had for breakfast was yogurt, peanut butter, and blueberries.
No.
So imagine electric purple.
No.
No. Okay, so
No.
he's like puking all over me. I am currently in this like, oh gosh, what am I supposed to do right now? So I mute myself. Should have turned off my camera, likely.
But everybody's like
in my mind. Okay. Didn't get that far. So I quick muted myself. I got up. I walked away. Meanwhile, Steven is working in the office. He hears some commotion, comes out and is like, hey, is everything okay? Looks at me and the baby who are covered in vomit. And he's like, okay, all right. When does the meeting start?
Okay.
What is happening? I am on the meeting.
Steven's like, I'm picking it up. I'm picking it up. I see what's happening.
Got it. Like no one's phased, right? Like,
no one's even talking. You're just looking at him. He's looking at you. He's like, all right.
Yeah. And then he's like, when does your meeting start? And I just point to my AirPods and he's like, got it. Got it. Okay. So I like take the baby's clothes off.
You're on it right now. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I take the baby's clothes off. I hand him off. I like sprint upstairs, change my whole outfit because that is what needed to happen, and then just walk downstairs back onto the meeting as one does as a professional.
Wow.
And then I just continued the meeting as if nothing happened. Had more thoughts. It was like 10, 15 minutes more of a meeting. Finished it out. Immediately after, Zoom meeting ends. I get a phone call from my boss, and I answer. I'm like, "Did you see the baby throw up all over me? Is that what you're calling about?" And he was like, "What?"
Oh, thank
Didn't
God.
see it, because at that moment, the person who we were having a meeting with was sharing her screen.
Oh,
And
thank
so we were
God.
like the tiny icons, right? And so he was like, "I didn't even see you." He's like, "I didn't even know you left until she stopped sharing her screen." And I was like, "Oh, she must have had to go put the baby down for a nap or something." Like,
Yeah.
just didn't think anything of it.
Wow.
And that was
Thank
it. And he was like,
God.
"I was just calling to say that was a great meeting. Good job." I was like, "I did."
Oh my gosh. Meanwhile, he's like, honestly, Jasmine, you run so fast because I didn't even
I
notice.
didn't even realize.
That is hilarious. And knowing your
It was
baby
cool.
and how sweet he is, I know that there's like, I mean, you can't be upset at a baby, period.
No,
However, looking at that one, I would just kind of be like, okay, dude, like,
I know.
you
And he
know,
wasn't even crying immediately after I got him out of his outfit. He's like laughing and playing. And we were like, "Dude,
because
why?"
he was just kind of like, no,
Just
I just
kind of
kind
had
of
an
felt,
empty stomach.
I just kind of felt like I just wanted to throw up. That is
That's it.
hilarious,
Give her a
though.
little attention.
Here at
It was
Anti-Depressing,
crazy.
we support working mommies, stay-at-home
Yes.
mommies. I
Mhm.
mean, if you're staying at home, you're also a working mommy. Let's just
Yeah,
categorize
yeah,
it because
yeah.
out here watching kids
Full-time
is a
job.
grind,
Yeah.
full-time job. And we support also having a partner that could just pick up that baby and be like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
get it. I get it. You
And,
don't
like,
even have
no
to talk.
stress.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't even
I
have
got
to talk.
it.
Just give me the baby and you run upstairs and change. I
It's
absolutely
good.
love that. Wow.
It's
Well,
good. It's
thank you
about
for sharing
collaboration,
that.
y'all.
No, that is collaboration. Thank you for sharing that, Jasmine.
Of course.
That really popped it off. Would you like to hear the antidepressant Catholic news?
I absolutely would.
Word. It has been a month and a day at this point since Pope Francis left this
That's
plane,
wow. Time
and
is flying,
which
man.
is pretty crazy. Time is flying.
Mhm.
And for our antidepressant Catholic news, I figured we could share something that Pope Francis did after he passed away, being the just guy that he was. He was like, I'm about to just bless people tenfold
There
after
we
I'm
go.
gone from this earth. Um, so in an article according to Euronews, and it's also just everywhere, Pope Francis's final act of mercy after he passed away was leaving a 200,000 euro donation to a juvenile prison in Rome.
Wow.
Um, quote, Monsignor Ambrose, who was Francis's in charge of charity and pastoral care in Rome, told Italian media that before his death, the Pope donated 200,000 euros from his personal account to a pasta factory that operates in a juvenile prison.
Mm.
He said, I told him that we have a big mortgage for this pasta factory, and if we can reduce it, we can lower the price of the pasta, sell more, and hire more boys. He replied, almost all my money is finished, but I still have something in my account. And he gave him 200,000 euros.
Wow. Wow.
Ambrose described how for Holy Thursday, which we know Pope Francis died the day after Easter, the Pope invested his last bit of energy to visit the prison.
Mm.
Ambrose said, I remember a tired man whose body was frail, yet who demanded attention to the prisoners, his presence. He
Mm.
fought for them until his last breath. That is why the prisoners saw hope in him. A father died for them. Wow.
Mm.
You know, and you guys, it's just really, really something to just be generous. And, you know,
Yeah.
the generosity, it's beautiful too. The generosity doesn't cease upon death. And God bless Pope Francis for just being generous and giving hope, you know, really practicing the corporal works of mercy too, you know, like love the prisoners, you know, and it's just beautiful. And visit the imprisoned. So just
Yeah.
gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And that's our
So gorgeous.
antidepressant
And
Catholic
it's
news.
I love that. And we've talked about this a lot, how a lot of times for people struggling with homelessness, people who are imprisoned, the big thing is like you don't feel seen. You're so cast
Mm,
out from society. No one's saying your name, no one's acknowledging your dignity. And they said in this article like that they felt so seen by Pope
mm,
Francis.
mm,
And that when he died, it truly was like losing a father, like mourning.
Mm-hmm.
And how great of an example is that it wasn't just like, oh, this person visited us once, it's sad that the Pope died. Like that he was so intentional with that relationship, with fathering them until his last breath, with giving them literally everything he had at the end, that they actually felt like it was a father that they were losing. And I just think that's so beautiful, because I think a lot of people felt like that about Pope Francis. Like this was such a loss to them personally, which is not always how people feel, you know, but it was like a deep, like you felt like you had a relationship. And so for it not to just be like people like us who work for the church and whatever, to be like, oh, I felt like I lost a father, but for the imprisoned to also feel like they lost a father, just is such a testament to who he was and what he prioritized, and like how he could make all people feel welcome, not at the like sacrifice of others, like just truly everybody. It's so beautiful.
It is so beautiful. And we love Pope Francis here. We miss him. You know, honest to God, it's crazy. It's been a month and a day already. And it's crazy that he's actually still not our Pope. Sometimes I forget. And then I wake up and I see memes of Pope Leo and I'm like, oh, okay. He's
we're back.
We're still here. So yeah, it's just pretty crazy. And we miss you, Pope Francis. However, you know, you're doing the good stuff up in heaven.
You're doing the good stuff. And I think it's such a moment where like I think people are simultaneously mourning still for Pope Francis when they really like think about it, but then also like so excited, so eager about Pope Leo, which like isn't that the point of our church? And I think it's like every single thing woven into the Catholic Church is like pretty intentional, you know? And I think there is some intentionality behind the fact that like the Pope dies, we get a new Pope, and you're having to do this like mourning and joy, weeping and joy thing at the same time. Because that's like the whole point of our church.
Like
it's
the
like
whole
it's
gig.
both and it's
that's
like
the
suffering and salvation. It's all the things.
Wow.
And so I do think there's like something there for us to ponder.
There is something there to ponder. So think on that, you guys. As we're giving you antidepressant Catholic news today, I pray on that. But
pray on that.
After we pray on that, I would like to dance. All right.
I want to dance because Chanel, the stories today, I am so excited. You gave content, and so let's dance and get ready.
And I've prayed. Let's go.
There we go.
Wow. Okay. You guys, so we're just kind of zooming through today. Not our stories, but we're zooming through life because life is exciting and
life is what you make it.
Yeah, life is what you make it. So let's make it rock. So for our first story today, Jasmine, you actually shared this with me and we didn't have time to talk about it. So because last week was our Popalicious episode. So for our first story today, we're going to talk about Walt Disney World. Now you guys might be saying, oh God, this guy stinks. Like, yeah, like we don't care about Disney. Yeah, I know. None of us can really afford to go there, but can't we dream? So, okay, Disney. They have obviously different kingdoms, and one of the kingdoms is Epcot. And people might be thinking, why does any of this matter? What is Epcot? Well, if you're a grown up, it does matter because you've probably had a drink around the world there.
First of all, Epcot matters to all adults.
Epcot matters. And you've probably also been on one of my favorites, Living with the Land, which is just essentially like a car ride around some plants for like 20 minutes. So it's
relaxing.
It's relaxing. Peaceful. It's iconic. It's air conditioned.
Yeah.
It's literally like my favorite ride. That and the Tres Caballeros in Mexico, which is also inside, air conditioned, and you just sit and watch a show for like 5 minutes. So Epcot rocks. Been there a ton. Jasmine's a fan. I'm a fan. We're all fans. Personally, I think even if you're not a Disney stan, Epcot is like fun because it's more just like you go around to the different countries, you eat their food, you really kind of have to have no Disney context. You're just kind of like, you don't
Yeah.
even have to go on rides. You can just admire the food
You
and
just eat and drink. Yeah.
and the scenery. Yeah.
Yep.
So one thing that Epcot does is they have concerts. They have a concert series in the America Pavilion. So America is one of the countries, one of the featured countries. I know. We all skip past it if we're from here. I don't really spend
The
time in there.
only way people stop is if you're trying to really save money, and like
Yeah,
the barbecue restaurant is the
is
best
good.
deal.
It
So
is the best
if
deal.
you're trying to be a little cheapo, then it is good
Then it is good.
and cheap. Otherwise, if you're like
Otherwise,
balling, then just keep going.
you kind of walk through it. Yeah.
Except the
However,
concerts. Yep.
they do have concerts, and
Mhm.
you might be thinking, what does that mean? Well, the concerts are kind of, it's like an outdoor pavilion. They've had
Yep.
many people come and play. You might recognize 98 Degrees. Yeah.
You might.
Jessica Simpson's ex-husband, Nick Lachey's band. Yeah, they perform there all the time. You also might identify with Joey Fatone. Oh yeah, the member of,
Been there.
NSYNC, Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, NSYNC. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh
We can't admit
oh
that online.
no,
No, because
Joey
now I'm questioning myself.
Fatone. Yeah, I'm actually not sure. I was
No,
really
it has
confident
to be
going
in
into
sync.
that.
It's in
Um,
sync.
it's
Okay, we're
NSYNC.
back.
Yeah, you
You were
might
right.
recognize
You were right.
Joey Fatone as well, member of NSYNC. He performs there a ton. I
Yeah, he
also think the
loves
Baja Men performed there one time.
it.
So
So
all around, it's just categorically amazing. But they actually also do have like a Christmas story thing that they do every year where like they have a kind of
mhm.
more mainstream big deal celebrity come
Yep.
and do like the reading of the Christmas Carol and then light some candles or something like that.
Yep.
So it's pretty awesome. It has all culminated to this moment where Jesus was in the building. I mean, we all know Jesus is everywhere. But Jesus
It
was
was more
quite
evident.
literally, Jesus was quite literally in the building as
Yep.
massive crowds, and this is a quote from CCM magazine, massive crowds broke out in Walt Disney World's park, okay? Because who was there other than, go ahead, go ahead and hit me with it,
All
Jasmine.
right, here we've got. Okay, wait. Am I right? Am I reading the right thing?
I think you are because,
That Toby Mac, Mercy Me, Maverick City, or is that
yeah.
for the Christmas
Well,
one?
it was Maverick City.
Okay, it
It
was
was
Maverick
Maverick
City.
City.
Okay,
Yeah.
which love some Maverick City. I would say
Yeah.
in terms of worship music that isn't how do I say this nice? Too in the box.
Yeah.
I appreciate a lot of their songs. So they were in the building. Apparently, it like got rained out. Classic Florida. Every concert gets rained out at first. Okay,
Apparently.
it like got rained out at first, and then they started, and it was like crowds and crowds of people flooding to the America Pavilion, which happens never. Okay, and just actually genuinely having this night of praise and worship, and there's videos of it, just like packed people, like you would see at like NCYC, like you would see at a
Mm-hmm.
Steubenville, like the hands raised, spirit is moving in the building type of feeling. But then you like look around and you're like, oh, we're actually at Walt Disney World. Like we are
Yeah.
in the middle of Epcot, just praising Jesus. And what a testament to the people walking by. And how much better is this than like throwing pamphlets at people on the street? Like you
Yeah.
are showing people what it is to be joyful, to be excited. You're also people of the world. You're like, we're at Disney. We're
Yeah.
not like, what's so horrible? Disney, like
Yeah.
we're actually like in the world.
Yeah.
Um, and also praising Jesus, promoting Jesus, being like
Which is pretty
present
cool.
in that.
Which is
What
pretty
a
cool.
cool
And
testament,
you
man.
might be thinking, and I love saying you might be thinking for some reason today's episode.
I think that might be the name of the episode.
You might be thinking. You might
and
be
maybe we're not
thinking.
thinking.
Yeah. And maybe we're not. Maybe your brain is off on your drive to work as you're listening to this. And
Tell
that's
them what they
also
might be
okay.
thinking.
You might be thinking, what the heck does Maverick City sing? Okay.
Give us some of their songs.
Yeah. Okay. You lift me up. You're
You know it.
I thank God. Okay, you might recognize that. You might
You do.
recognize Gyra, you are
Oh,
love.
get it. Oh.
Okay, you might recognize that. Okay, that's Maverick City. They've been kind of been every. They also have a song with Kirk Franklin called "Bless
Oh,
Me." If you've
love
ever
that.
heard that one, if you've ever been to a Christian camp in the past 3 years, you've probably heard it. That's the
Quite
one
a
that's
few of
like,
these, yeah.
bless me, God be God, and death has been defeated. He is our victory. Okay, yeah. So honestly, Maverick City,
You know
their
it.
music is pretty good. So God bless Maverick City. God bless the people that went there, because there's
So cool, yeah.
never a bad opportunity to not be, whoa, to not be touched
Ooh.
by the Holy Spirit. I just hit my own headphones.
Yep.
And yeah, we're here for that. So
And
love it.
in case you want to get in the mix, don't
Mm-hmm.
worry, because they want you to know that Maverick City returns for an encore performance. Returned May 12th. Okay, so
Yeah.
they returned a few weeks ago, but We the Kingdom will close out the Flower and Garden
Whoa.
Festival on June 1st and June 2nd.
We
So if
the
you are
kingdom.
local or got those means to quick fly to Florida and are interested in this, June
Yeah.
1st and 2nd, Flower and Garden Festival also a vibe. So, both things.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to continue on the worship. I'm excited to see if We the Kingdom can really carry it in the way that Maverick City did. I'm excited to see if the crowds show up, especially now that it got so much attention from
Yeah.
social media. And I'm loving this closing line to whoever wrote this. They're really leaning into the Disney. Said, because last night at Epcot, it wasn't about wishing upon a star. It was about praying to the Savior, singing to the healer, and praising the one who made the stars in the first place.
You know that as he was writing that, he was like, this is gonna cook.
It's like, I killed
This is
it.
gonna
Felt
cook.
good. Yeah,
4
who's this
plus
author?
4, babe.
Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Go Logan. We
Go
know.
Logan.
You
He
spent some
ate that.
time on that line, and that is not ChatGPT could never.
He
You wrote that
ate
yourself.
that. He
Yeah.
said, this is not ChatGPT. I sat and I thought about this. I texted this to my friends for approval before I wrote
Said, you
this.
guys like it? And
I
they're
honestly
like,
love it. And for next year, you guys, I'm just hyping you up. This is not sponsored by Disney, but if you wanted to go to Disney, just listen to a few of the people that have come before Maverick City.
yes.
Air Supply. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. Okay. All right. That's one. ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. Oh man, I just had their song in my head. I just had their song in my head, you guys. Electric Light Orchestra, but let me tell you the next one. Sugar Ray. Someday in the eyes of a passerby, look around and wonder why. Okay, a flock. Yep, a flock of seagulls. And I ran so far away. Okay. Plain white tees. Hey there, Delilah, you guys. I mean, honest to God, next year
at the Flower and Garden Festival.
yeah, the Pointer Sisters, It's Raining Men. I mean, honestly, you guys, it seems like next year I might just have to go. Electric Light Orchestra are Don't Bring Me Down, which you might know. Don't Bring Me Down, Bruce, and Mr. Blue Sky, which has been featured in many a Marvel movies, which is the one that's like, sun is shining in the sky, there ain't a cloud inside, which I think was at the beginning of the last Guardians movie where Baby Groot was like in his little world. So anyway,
I love this.
Thanks, Maverick.
Maybe we should start a GoFundMe for us to live stream the worship events next year.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Drop money in the chat.
Yeah, drop. We'll drop our Venmo.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this next story. Such a pivot from the joy, from the magic, from the creator that we were just talking about, to someone who maybe needs to spark a little joy in their life. Seems a little downer. So tell us about this.
All right. So our next story, if you were on social media this past couple days, you have seen Justin Bieber and his post about Haley, his wife. Okay. So now I know there's a lot of lore that Justin Bieber does not like his wife. And I don't know.
Unrooted.
Okay, so there's been a lot of lore that he's just not a big fan. He was with Selena Gomez for a while. Some of us need to let that go. She's engaged. We need to move on. There is some also lore that Haley has kind of been after Justin for a while. they seem like they all just have a weird relationship.
Yeah.
However, the talk about Justin not really liking Haley has been deep. He doesn't seem to smile when they're around each other, and he just always seems to kind of cut her down a little bit. So Haley had a big accomplishment. She was on the cover of Vogue, which is a big accomplishment. So everyone's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. She looks good. Like, congrats, etc." A husband would post, right? If I was on the cover of Vogue and be like, hey, my wife's on the cover of Vogue, or like a couple flame emojis, you know what it is. Justin did not post that. And Shocking. There's a lot of controversy here because people are curious, like, did he ruin her moment, or did he just make this about her, or was it both? And / why would you even share something like this? Okay. So here we go. According to Parade Magazine, in the social media upload, the 31-year-old, wow, we're the same age, okay? He said, yo, Oof. This reminds me of when Haley and I got into a huge fight. Okay, this is along her cover photo on Vogue. This is the caption. Yo, this reminds me of when Haley and I got into a huge fight. I told Hales that she would never be on the cover of Vogue. Yikes, I know. So mean. Okay, all right. His reflection was accompanied by photos, blah, blah, blah. For some reason, because I felt so disrespected, I thought I gotta get even. I think we mature. As we mature, we realize that we're not helping anything by getting even. We're honestly just prolonging what we really want, which is intimacy and connection. So, baby, you already know, but forgive me for saying you wouldn't get a Vogue cover, because I was sadly mistaken. All right. So he posted that. That did not last for a long time because people were in his comments.
People were flaming him. Dude, I am in these comments. Going and I have a couple favorites.
Yeah. And he replaced the whole caption I just read. He replaced it with 4 emojis. 4 emojis. One of the person with their hands up. That? Yeah. What's that? And then just like a heart, a hand with a heart.
Also a pointing.
And like, a pointing of like, we need to chill out. But he needs to read what he just wrote because it was weird. But tell me some of your favorite comments.
It was weird. Somebody put Justin with a crying face. I don't know if this is how you say congrats to your wife. LOL. Fair.
Yeah, fair.
Someone wrote, love Justin, but all caps, free Haley. Fair. This one, arguably my favorite one, is may this love never find me. I'd rather be a cat lady.
Literally, may this love see me across the street and walk in the other direction, dude, because no way, dude.
There's not enough fame, money in the world to justify this kind of love.
No way.
I also am like, they've been together for a very long time now.
Very long time. And it has
to be like 10 years.
A full baby as well.
They have a full baby, and he's like, as we're growing and maturing, we're now realizing it's not okay to get even. I'm like, I just feel this maybe could have been something we learned earlier. Like a lesson we learned earlier. There is just really never an excuse to not go to therapy. You know, like you can find a good therapist. A lot of times insurance covers it. If you can't afford it, that is maybe a good excuse. If your insurance doesn't cover it, you can't find anyone. First of all, try to get connected to people who will get you it for free. Justin Bieber, you have every resource in the world. Why weren't you guys in couples therapy from the jump? Why aren't you trying to, maybe this is an exercise from his therapist, blast yourself online. Admit to the people what you thought.
And maybe
admit to them how crazy you are.
And I thought maybe actually Justin is ahead of the rest of us. And this is an exercise that we should all practice by just getting online and saying something like really horrific that we've said to a loved one.
Yeah. And then just the worst thing you said to, maybe he got like pranked. He lost a bet. You have to post on social media one of the top 5 worst things you said to a loved one.
And then that, he has won.
12 hours.
Yeah. He has won. He has won. So like, Jasmine, what are your thoughts on that caption? Because I have heard people say, hey, it is good. He's being transparent. Honestly, it is true. You do just want intimacy, but sometimes you say mean things. Sometimes you are kind of snippy. So that's not false. And so that's good that he's providing a space for people to talk about that. But
I do think
what do
it's
you
fair.
think?
I think maybe like the platform or the moment wasn't the best. Like I could see if he was on like Call Her Daddy, or he was on like some podcast where it was like they were getting deep into their relationship and like what are kind of the struggles. Obviously you're both in the light of fame, like what is the struggle there in the relationship, and then both of them maybe sharing, or him, even if it's just him sharing, like, you know, we've really struggled with comparison, totally normal, or like tit for tat, keeping score, all the things, and we've realized like it actually hasn't been helpful, but it's been really difficult for us because when you are growing up in the spotlight, it's constantly like, what can I do that they can't do? Like, I think all of this makes really good sense in context that he became famous at a very young age. I just think maybe on the caption of something that's celebrating such an accomplishment for your wife, it kind of turned it back on him. It's kind of like egocentric. It's like, well, I thought this, this, and this, and anyways, we're not going to try to just keep getting even. Like it was a good thing to admit, I suppose, but I would have been hurt that that was the moment he chose to share it if I were Haley.
Okay.
Presumably he like talked to her before he posted this, but potentially not, right?
No.
In an ideal world, but that's probably not always the case. So I do think it's kind of like regrettable.
Yeah.
But also context is key, right? He has literally been in the public eye since, when did he get famous? Like 11, 12?
11, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really young. And I do think there's something to the fact that like when you get famous, you like however old you were when you're famous, you kind of like stop maturing emotionally. It's like people, I think there's something to that. I don't think that's true in every case, but I do think sometimes you like kind of revert back. And I do think he has like immaturity and stuff rooted in that. I don't think that's an excuse for him to continue acting like this. And some people in the comments were like, dude, you're starting to kind of give like Kanye West, where you just say anything online. And I was like,
wait a
but
minute.
also not totally untrue. Like he's just kind of starting to say things. And he's still pretty young, like 31. It's not like you can be like, he's getting older. Like he's 31. It's like, all right, now would maybe be a good time for the sake of your digital footprint and the fact that you have a child together. Like, do you want your son to grow up and be like, oh, this is how my dad congratulated my mom?
My mom. Yeah.
That's tough. That's not it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree. And I think like it wasn't the time. And I think that maybe being a celeb, maybe he missed those integral moments of learning those lessons at an earlier age.
Yeah.
And kind of moving through those lessons in privacy. And I think he wasn't afforded that opportunity, which is fair. But yeah, if I was his wife, I would absolutely crash out. That the minute I'm on Vogue, then you decide to post that we got in an argument and you told me I would never be on Vogue.
Yeah.
I would lose it.
Just simply not the time.
So it was not the time. And, you know, God bless him for checking the vibes and just changing the caption. Even though, you know, the internet is forever and everyone already screenshotted it. God bless him for just like changing it, because it was just honestly too much. But we love people that at least are trying to work on their relationship. And we pray that's what Justin and Haley are trying to do.
Yeah.
Although the lore does tell us different. So yeah.
It's looking a little different.
So we'll see.
In terms of caring about your partner and being present for their successes. And dressing up for them.
Word. And speaking of lore, our last story is about a priest. And you might be like, wow, we got it. Yeah, I know. I know. We love talking about priests. It's about a priest. And his name is Father Guillermo, or Guillermo. He is currently 49 and he's from Portugal. And that's cool. Those are all cool things. He's also a DJ. No, not a middle school dance DJ. He DJs EDM and house music. Which he has a unique passion for EDM. So I have to find some of his, let me see if I can find some of his mixes. But he played at World Youth Day on the main stage. He's like a practicing priest, and he said in a rapidly secularizing Europe, so a Europe that kind of doesn't practice their faith anymore, Father Guillermo was kind of like, hey, what do people like? They love music. And so he does DJ sets, blending techno beats with clips of papal speeches. You guys, I need to find it. I need to find it. Wait,
we have to share this on our Instagram. That is crazy.
And he is just, Father.
Not the papal speeches.
I heard one where it was like, hallelujah. Wait, he played one in front of, in Brazil, the Christ the Redeemer statue, like the big Jesus statue. That's like whatever. He had a concert with strobes in front of,
That is so funny. Oh, God. Nuh-uh. I would go to this club. Oh my God.
You guys.
No, stop. That goes so hard.
Like, you guys, that's a moment. That is a moment.
I just love where we're at as a church, and like that. This is 2023. Like, things are only getting more hype with the DJing scene, I think.
Yeah.
And that like 2023, they were having him DJ before Pope Francis's mass to wake everyone up. And how else do you wake teenagers up?
Like, let me just actually
like, that's so good.
I
They're
just
like, no,
like,
we
really
actually
can't.
don't need the worship band to play a couple songs before mass. We actually have a DJ who's gonna just get things going, get us a little hyped up.
Yeah, just get us a little hyped up. And honestly,
that is incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys, people are saying, people are just in the comments are just dropping a bunch of bangers. They say, "Forgive me, Father, for I have synth." Okay. They're saying, can you imagine the church sponsoring raves, which honestly would be pretty dope. Jesus bless this DJ set. Why am I levitating, Father?
Oh my gosh.
They said, and David danced before the Lord with his might, wearing a priestly garment. Which honestly, that would be.
They're like scripture said.
That would be my vibe. Said, I'd fly to Portugal to rave for the Lord. Let's see.
Wow. This is so true. How is he not getting sets at like
Yeah.
NCYC? How is he not at the NEC? Like, what's going on?
At the NEC, that would be insane. Said, this goes unbelievably hard. Let's see. What's the next? What's the next one? Very happy that this is my algorithm. Okay, first of all, wow. Honest to God, like I pray that one day I just see him playing at Alive in You. Yeah,
honestly, let's put that in the universe.
Let's put that in the universe. He's playing at Alive in You camps.
With my boss after this.
Yeah, and just say, just say Father.
Well, Father, that is kind of what we call him.
Yeah, just say, hey Jim, I'm going to play something for you and tell me how hard this goes. And then just show him a picture of Father Guillermo. And
so true.
Be like, this is worth every ounce of money that we make to pay for him to come
from Portugal.
So yeah.
That's so good, man.
So that's it.
What an icon. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah. And, that's just a reminder that sometimes the world may be depressing, but we're not.
We are not. And when you think the church is like lame, 2 of our stories have showed that like actually you can like really get turned up as a Christian.
You can. Yeah.
And so enjoy it.
Hallelujah. Yeah. Like, it's really, I need you to show that to your kids and post that on our Instagram.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get crazy.
Yeah, Stephen will be like, what are you playing? Play it
Oh my
on the
God.
TV though, with the Christ the Redeemer statue in the background,
No,
like the
it's so
actual
true.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like
so
the
true.
actual set. And I would love to see what your
They're gonna
daughters
get
say.
after that. I love
Yeah.
it.
Well, you guys, we love you guys. I love you, Jasmine.
I love
And we'll talk to you guys soon.
you.
TTYL.
Bye.
Bye.